I didn't know you can land yourself in jail just because you forgot to pay the bill to a takoyaki stand. Makes me have second thoughts about buying takoyaki again. Akudama Drive was very unexpected. I had seriously thought this was gonna be another generic shonen action type of series filled with unnecessary fan service. It's much darker than that, so definitely not a great watch for those of you who like to watch things with your parents because it can get real disturbing. But it is one of the charming parts to the series. Although it's not very well developed, I think it can be a great watch as it is very short and can be finished in one night. In all the right ways, it is a cyberpunk themed series with a flashing aesthetics, action, edge, pretty much anything you can name will show up there. On the surface, the characters are very average. You have your jock, the kid, the clown, the healer, the crazy one, the lone wolf, and the one who has no clue what's going on. Essentially, they are all criminals who have committed serious crimes, landing them in a near-death experience until a cat tells them that it will save them, but they have to return the favor by doing something in return. Except one of them has never committed any crime, or at least the viewers know this, just not the police. These characters do not have a name, seemingly to show that the criminals who live in this country is subjected to poor treatment and revealing society's unforgiving nature on people who commit crimes. This drives a group of criminals and a girl who is known as the swindler to learn about the awful truth about each other and the truth about the country they live in. She is an ordinary person, but the swindler differentiates herself from the other criminals, or Akudama, by her sensibility and tendency to seek for and attempt to share comfort. Even though the swindler is seemingly innocent, she does eventually adapt to committing crimes in order to survive, especially when there is someone out to get her. Like every final girl strategies from horror movies, it was really smart of her to finish off the murderer before he gets to finish the job. No matter how they were like during their interactions, as the viewers know that he was not thinking about world peace, but rather something a little bit more gruesome. The plot of this series began to get more interesting when Swindler, who seems like the average, strong, and justified main lead kind of character, comes to terms with the foundation in which her country was built on. The country itself was revealed to have conducted countless inhumane experimentation on innocent children, which had shattered the heroic image it tried to uphold. Also, I really didn't see the girl fighting a whole big-ass country, maybe an organization, but nothing that big. It's as if the characterization of the swindler was meant to become an anti-hero rather than a criminal of the series, because in the eyes of the law, she is a criminal, but to the children she had saved, she was the hero. She is no longer the innocent girl who didn't pay the bill for a small snack, rather is now a completely branded criminal to the country in which she was born into. Even though the audience does not know her origins, as in who her parents or guardians are, and why she is alone, or why no one seems to think that she is just an average girl, despite all the signs pointing to that fact. This implies that these criminals did have more to them than just committing crimes, pointing to the ridiculous justice system that the country had created, which caused a strong rift between civilians and criminals. It's as if any small crime is a death sentence, since that was how the swindler became a part of the whole situation in the first place. Compared to the other characters who have committed moderate to severe crimes, ranging from being in gangs, acting on violent tendencies, shipping things that you shouldn't, being a murderer, being a crazy doctor, the crime of forgetting to pay a small bill pales in comparison. This series was great at portraying the extreme opposites of being a civilian versus criminal, and the anime was actually great at displaying the overwhelming power of a country versus one person. However, that one person, with the help of others, did make an impact, and although they didn't succeed, someone else can in the future. In reality, it's not about being a criminal or a good person, it's about doing the right thing. Doing the right thing does not always mean a happy ending, and although the ending was bittersweet, even though the winner is also not quite clear, there was an impact being made. Although it would have been nice to have an ending where the criminals survive and live on for the next part of their life, it would have been predictable and boring, which is not a good way to keep the audience from remembering the series. And with a large plot twist with the doctor and the kids was a huge shocker that pulled the air out of me. Like, you've got to see for yourselves as to what happened, because I guarantee you it's the generic anime thing, but make it good. The thing with immortality and people wanting to live forever seems like a dumb thing to wish for, and is a common wish among anime villains, but the series was able to make it into the plot without it being too generic. Which is why I'm glad the series got the recognition it deserved. In all honesty, there was a good combination of action and narrative that made the series a good watch, such as showing the duality of good and bad, having actual character development, the social commentary on society, and overall having an interesting plot. Even though it is a series from a previous season, I still remember it pretty well, and for a 12-episode series, it was truly a beautiful story packed into a cyberpunk neon aesthetic that is very worthwhile to watch despite how short it is.